Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and welcome back to the PMDG Boeing 777. You guys have asked for it quite a lot and here we are again. So we are in Dubai, flying over to Frankfurt, which is a quick 6-hour flight. And finally I don't have to overlay any stuff anymore for our long hauls, but we can hop right into the aircraft and start getting ready down here. So before we start with our aircraft setup, let's go ahead and do some paperwork down here. So electronic flight bag, request data from SimBrief, and here it is. I just love how that route is building up down here. Okay, so here's our flight plan, and we can start by having a quick look into our weather scenario. So our destination airport Frankfurt is showing good weather, cargo conditions, and our alternate Düsseldorf is showing good conditions as well. If we have a look at Dubai, we can see excellent weather, 38 degrees once again. Yep, you can tell it's early September. It's just about time it gets colder again. Alright, so the conditions in general are looking very good for our flight, and if we check out the fuel planning, we can see that at 59 tons we are good to go. We'll take a little bit more, let's make it 60 tons, that covers us in case we get any heavier or in case we gather some delay and have to fly a little bit faster and that kind of stuff. So we'll take 60 tons and that should be just about perfect. Alright then, just went on board our aircraft, we can go ahead, turn on the ADRU. On the status display we ensure that we have sufficient hydraulic quantity on board, sufficient oxygen pressure, and on the engine page we ensure we have sufficient oil quantity on board. So let's go over any of those ICAS messages here, make a recall to be sure that everything is shown, and make sure that only expected messages are shown. Don't be surprised about the pack warning over here. As you can see, we do have an external air conditioning unit connected so that our aircraft keeps nice and steady. Alright, ICAS messages are checked and everything is looking good. Then we can go ahead and do the oxygen test. So normally we'd go to the emergency setting, make sure that that works. In the PMDG, unfortunately, that's currently not simulated. All the equipment is on board, and last but not least, make sure that the broadband comm switch is in the on position and the parking brake is set, as we're about to check the condition of all the ground equipment here as well. Also, something I'll do since we're flying in VATSIM here is to turn that transponder off so that we don't get any annoying messages down there. Alright, so that much about our general flight deck setup here. The IRS alignment is in progress. We can now go ahead and start doing our FMS setup. So we have a 777-300 GE90 engines, current database. We are going to use the GPS position and we will use our route uplink here. Set payload, set fuel, select route, and give it a short moment to set this up. So flight number is incorrect here, shouldn't be Emirates 45, but it should be Emirates 52 Mike. Hopefully they're going to solve that bug eventually, because that is a rather annoying one. Okay, load the route please, and while that stuff is in progress, let's go on to the flight information page down here, and we can do our ATIS request. Okay, I want Dubai please, VATSIM ATIS, and we can take automatic updates, send that out. And in the meantime it looks like our route uplink has also completed. So, activate, execute, departure. Let's just about see, 30 right, perfect, and the QNH 999R. So, 30 right it is. Let's go ahead and get ourselves our EFB over here. That feature is so incredibly useful. Read up to Foxtrot departure. Here we go, execute, and for the arrival in Frankfurt, probably going to be 07 right. And we've got the Debbie 1 Charlie arrival, Delta Fox 654, transition, execute. Alright, let's go ahead and find the departure chart. So, read up. Here we go. Read up 3 Foxtrot. And that's the upper one. Okay, so initial speed restriction minimum 180, minimum 190, and then maximum 220 on 585. So 220 slash, we'll just insert some random altitude restriction here. Here we go. Then left-hand turn towards Orlat, kicksock read up, and that's it already. Portion 30 right, independent parallel arrivals 30 left, initial climb clearance 4000. Is set, and here we go. Okay then, wind data load. Execute and load the uplink as well. Okay then, onto the performance. We are going to accept the automatic uplink here. We'll keep the zero fuel weight empty for now. 340 cost index 69. Cruise CG is going to be 30 and RVSM step size is okay. We have jet A1 fuel, so minimum fuel temperature minus 44 is good as well. Alright, acceleration and reduction at 1000 each, and that basically concludes the setup up here. Transition altitude 13,000 is correct. We don't need anything in the nav radios, and last but not least, we are gonna draw a 25-mile ring around Dubai down here. Like this, and that's it. So with that, our FMS setup is complete. Perfinite on the captain's page, route 1 on the first officer's page, and that's it. Alright, beautiful. Then let's stow the EFB away for now. Continue with our setup. And, well, fairly easy here, I do like that. So, QNH 999er is set. Flight director's coming on. Electronic checklist. So, reset all. Thank you. And let's clear that weather as well. Brief service interruption in a few days. No date yet. The ACAS server service moves server. Expect a few hours downtime. Okay, excellent. If the hobby server moves to another server, that can only mean it gets more reliable. I like that very much. Okay, cancel. So, we set up the com page already. We've done everything over here. Then we can continue on this side. Alright, moving down into the site, everything set. QNH 999er can come in, and auto brakes RTO. Alright, we are going to set up those radios later on, so don't worry about those just yet. We're single pilot technically, yeah. We would fly this with two pilots, however, so we don't need to set up the observer station there. Cool, then we got 1 to 1.5. Co-pilot side can be set up as well. Transponder onto above, off 2000, and system number 1. Looking very good. Alright, so I think with that we are mostly done with our airplane setup. Let's go ahead and go for our departure briefing then. So, threats for the departure, to be honest, I do not really see any. Do you? No? Wonderful. Alright, then let's go ahead with our route check. So, Oscar Mike Delta Bravo to Echo Delta Delta Foxtrot, Uniform Alpha Echo 5 to Mike. And our routing is via Rida, Mike 5572 Mac, Lima 602 Tasmi, Upper Lima 602 Gatzi, Upper Mike 860 Sep2, Direct VUSEP, Upper Mike 860 Charlie Romeo Mike, Upper Lima 746 Gokpa, Upper Mike 10 Tifgu, Upper Lima 852 Negam, Tango 746 Argas, Direct Tagri, Direct Arzin, Direct Sudan, Direct Akini, Tango 161 Daddy, and the ground distance 2781 versus 2788. Perfect. Okay, that's looking very good. Time UTC 0408, altimeter 999 reading 20 feet. The flight directors are on, standby instruments set. It's going to be left seat takeoff, runway 30 right, flaps 5, noise abatement procedure 2, And in case of emergency, we continue on the runway heading, climbing to 4,000 feet, which keeps us safe above the MSA. Above 80 knots, I will only reject the takeoff for fire or fire warning, engine failure, predictive wind shear warning, aircraft unable or unsafe to fly. If I call stop, I will simultaneously close the thrust levers and disengage the auto throttle, apply maximum manual braking or verify operation of the RTO auto brakes. Manually erase the speed brake lever, apply maximum reverse thrust, and when the aircraft comes to stop, I will set the park and brake. Your actions. Okay, I will note the brakes on speed, call speed brakes up or speed brakes not up, and call thrust as normal up, normal indications. Call 100 knots, 8 knots, 6 knots, and the runway distance remaining. Verify your actions, call any omissions, I will call auto brake disarm and select flaps 30 when the brake has been set and advise ATC of the reject. We then identify the malfunction and carry out any drills as appropriate. If we decide to evacuate, we read and do the evacuation checklist. Time permitting, pull the CBRCD, you grab the lid, then we get out. Taxi is most likely going to be a pushback to the right hand side. Let's see that in big, please. So most likely push to the right, taxi out over here, crossing the runway most likely over here. So in kilo 10, and then we take Mike 13 figures for our departure. Our SID itself is the read up to Foxtrot departure, initially straight ahead, left hand turn, climbing 4,000 feet and further climb when instructed by Dubai departure. 220 knot restriction, that means we gotta keep the flaps extended. And that's it. Do you have any questions? No questions. Wonderful. Okay, pre-flight checklist. Oxygen, tested 100%. Flight instruments, heading 029, altimeter 999, reading 20, left and right. Pre-flight checklist complete. Alright, I think they should slowly be done with the boarding. Let's go ahead and start up the APU, and I'll say hello to our guests. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning from Flight Deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emmanuel, and in the name of Emirates, I would like to welcome you on board Flight 47 to Frankfurt. Flight time today is 6 hours and 15 minutes, and we expect a smooth flight at initially 34,000 feet. We would like to thank you very much for being our guests today. Sit back, relax, enjoy the flight with us, and if there is anything we can do for you to make it more comfortable, please do not hesitate to ask any of our charming cabin crew. Alright. So then, let's go ahead and request our departure clearance. So, flight information, departure clearance request. So, facility should be Dubai. We're at gate Bravo 22. And we had ATIS information Alpha. Okay, free text. Request flight level 340. They do want to know that over here. And we can always send a good day as well. So, Emirates 52 Mike, Dubai to Frankfurt, information Alpha Bravo 22, request flight level 340, send. So in the meantime, our boarding should be completed. So let's go ahead and request prepare for pushback and departure. Release ground power. Yes. Okay, so we still only have 59 tons on board, should be 60. Let's go ahead and increase that. Here we go, looking good. So then, 220.9, which is exactly what we've predicted. Okay, gross weight 280.9. Then let's go for the performance. Dubai, runway 30 right. 3,600 meters is roughly accurate. Import the weights, import the weather, calculate. So 57 degrees assumed temperature. .1, 93.4. Yeah, that's good enough for me. Okay, flaps 5 takeoff. We'll take the CG from here. Takeoff speeds 167, 171, 174. And those are all within 1 knot, so we can use the FMS speeds. 174 selected. Okay, and that's this. So, setup is complete. No response to our PDC request just yet. We might have to use voice to request our clearance. Well, let's give it a try. 120.35.
Speed and squawk 0563. Emirates 8 X-ray.
Emirates 8 X-ray, that is correct and information Alpha, KNH 3.9, report ready for start and push runway 30 right.
Report when ready for push, Emirates 8 X-ray, thank you.
Dubai delivery, Salam Alaikum, Emirates 5-2 Mike, information Alpha, request clearance to Frankfurt and flight level 340.
Emirates 5-2 Mike, alaikum assalam. Clear to Frankfurt via read up to Frankfurt departure, runway 30 right, line initially 4,000 feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Emirates 5-2 Mike, clear to Frankfurt via read up to Foxtrot departure, runway 30 right, climb 4,000 feet, squawk 1234.
5-2 Mike, read that is the correct and the information Alpha, UNS 3.9, report ready for start and push runway 30 right.
Information Alpha, QNH 999, Wilco, Emirates 5-2 Mike. Okay, so runway 30 right, read up 2 Foxtrot, climbing 4,000, and the squawk 1234. Highly creative. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, beautiful. So then, let's go ahead and get this thing going. Ground from flight deck? Go ahead. So please confirm all doors and hatches closed, ground equipment removed, and the bypass pin is installed. All confirmed. Roger. Can we pressurize hydraulics? Clear to pressurize. So, 4.5 units of trim. Here we go, and transponder on before start checklist, please. Flight deck door. See, that's the reason we do these checklists. Closed and blocked. MCP. V2174, heading 299, altitude 4000. Takeoff speeds 167, 171, 174. CDU pre-flight, completed. Trim, 4.5 units, 0 and 0. Taxi and takeoff briefing, completed. Before start checklist, complete. Okay, how about GSX? Ready. Emirates 5-2 Mike, request pushback and startup.
Emirates 5-2 Mike, Roger, nice flight, switching to Honeycomb, 122.8.
122.8, Emirates 5-2 Mike. Too bad, when I logged on they were all online. Now they are no longer. But that's okay, then we do a little bit of Unicom operation here. Dubai traffic, Emirates 5-2 Mike, pushing back, gate Bravo 22. Okay, before start checklist complete. I believe from this very position we can do a pushback with the nose to the right onto uniform, so let's go ahead and give that a go.
On 9 mile final for ILS 30 left.
Okay, so ground flight, go ahead. Push approved, facing east, park brake released. Roger, starting the push. Where is he? Did GSX not remove any equipment? Yeah. GSX did not remove all equipment. Always an adventure. Okay, here we go. So, starting the pushback. Sometimes I really wonder why I always get that lag when I'm looking around in Dubai. It's always when the city comes into view. Something seems to be rather badly optimized here. Alright, once our engines are past the line, we're going to commence the engine startup. Which is pretty much now. Okay, ground, starting in sequence 1, then 2. Engine 1 start. I just love the fully automatic startup sequence here. All we gotta monitor for is an oil pressure exceedance, the rest works completely by itself. Ground flight, we have a good start in engine 1, starting engine 2. Clear 2.
Charger drop is with India 539
this
taxi
is
via
looking
Alpha
good.
Bravo 20,
Okay.
landing on runway 30.
Right engine start.
Charger drop.
Flight up from ground. The push is complete. Set your brakes, please. Brake set. Roger. And engine number 2 is coming up. Okay, ground, we have 2 good engine starts. You're clear to disconnect. Show me the sign on the left side, please, with a pin, and have a good day. Alright, TCAS off is copied. So, there comes the tuck. Awaiting the hand signal then. And there she comes. Beautiful. She's holding a pin. Flight control track. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Okay, clear signal is received. Rudder. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Before taxi checklist. Anti-ice. Auto. Recall. Checked. Flight controls. Checked. Ground equipment. Clear. Before taxi checklist complete. Dubai traffic. Emirates 52 Mike. Heavy taxi holding point runway 30 right and will hold short 30 left. Brake is released. Off we go. A little bit of thrust to get it moving. Alright, so now comes the challenge of doing the proper oversteering technique once again, since the 777 is just that bit larger than the A319 that we've flown mostly before. even than the A321, of course. So the turn here isn't all that tight. I'm going to keep the 15 knots around the turn. Okay, new ADAS. Disregarding that. Especially on non-standard turns like these, it's always a little bit hard to judge how you're doing on the taxi. See, that's what I meant with the lags when Dubai comes into view. But I think we're doing quite alright here. But in these situations I do sometimes like to go into the outside view in order to be able to see how well I'm doing, in order to learn that taxi properly. Sometimes I wish we had that feedback in the real world. Of course there is the taxi camera, but unfortunately MSFS just doesn't support it at the moment. Okay, we're clear on the right side, and we're clear on the left side. Then we'll take the second taxiway to the right. That's going to be Kilo, and then towards Kilo 10 for the runway crossing. So left and right are clear. This is a little bit tighter turn, speed back down towards 10 knots. Like this. And here we go. Okay then, on towards Kilo 10, which is just over here, and in there we're going to cross the runway. I just love how the 777 accelerates so easily with so little thrust. Really makes it a very pleasant airplane to taxi. Despite the weight, even when you're close to the max takeoff weight, still taxis that nicely. Okay, so Kilo 10 coming up next to the left. We've still not gotten the cabin ready signal as far as I remember. The only chime we received was for the new ADAS. Okay, I do not see anybody on the final approach, so then we can cross runway 30 left. Dubai traffic Emirates 52 Mike crossing 30 left. Strobe light on. Clear on both sides. Crossing. On VATSIM I always look in a little bit more careful into the other direction than in the real world. In the real world, of course, you check both sides of the runway, but on VATSIM the chance of someone taking off opposite is most certainly there. So, still waiting for the clearance from our cabin crew. Then we might just as well turn right onto Mike and taxi to the full length rather than take any intersection. Did we actually miss the cabin ready signal? I start getting that feeling. Well, if we don't know, here's what we do. Cabin interphone. And we call the purser. Yes, hello. Yes, hello, this is Mohammed at 1 left. Hi, it's Emmanuel at 0 left. We might have missed the cabin ready signal. Can you confirm you're all ready and set to go? Yeah, the cabin is ready. Okay, thank you. Two-way traffic, Emirates 5 Mike, line up and takeoff runway 30 right. Before takeoff checklist. Before takeoff checklist complete. Okay, so it's been a little while since we've flown the 777 the last time, so we got to do the rotation slowly and carefully in order not to break anything. Ready? Take off. Thrust set.
8 knots.
Checked.
V1. Rotate. Positive red climb.
You're up. The 777 just rotates so incredibly nicely compared to so many other aircraft in the simulator. Flight dynamics are just so good in here. Okay, 400 is passed. Autopilot. Flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps 1. Okay, might as well continue our climb, say level 150 initially, and then we'll see about what we're going to get later on. Looks like we didn't have the traffic display activated, but that's not a problem. We did, after all, have a very good look outside the window. Okay, we'll have to keep the flaps extended for a little while here, for about the next 6 miles until we can start our left-hand turn. Unless ATC would release us of the speed restriction, but I'm not sure how often that actually happens in Dubai. So, quick look outside. Beautiful. For now, I am just going to maintain that speed. Okay, we don't need that clock anymore. The elapsed timer has started automatically when we lifted off. And that's about everything we need out here. So, temperature is still plus 36 degrees up here, so our climb performance isn't all that great at just about 2,000 feet a minute. That's one of the things I love about flying in Dubai. When you fly these very light weights in other places, say for example London, when you're going over to the US East Coast, you'd have a similar gross weight there. And the airplane just rockets up into the sky. When you're flying in Dubai in those temperatures, the plane has, let's call it, normal performance. Unless you're getting close to the max takeoff weight, then it starts to get interesting, but that's not the case today, so let's not worry about it. Okay, finally, passing waypoint 5 at 5. Once it's sequenced from the flight plan, the speed restriction goes up, flaps up. Speed checked. Flaps up. After takeoff checklist. After takeoff checklist complete. Alright. So we left Dubai behind. Let's see, what's our cruising level going to be? Recommended 300. I somehow doubt it. Optimum 338. And the flight plan level is 340. I'm fairly sure once we get up, that recommended level is going to change. Nonetheless, just to be on the safe side here, let's go ahead and request the latest wind data. Right, sunshade's going into place. Can zoom out a little bit on the tablet so that we have a proper en route chart. Okay, wind data is available, load. And the same for the descent forecast, of course. Okay, arriving at 10:47, and that's with the whole transition in. What's the scheduled time? 11:15. Wonderful. So we'll be absolutely on time. Passing 10,000. And we can release our passengers as well. Beautiful. So long, up and away. Then let's go ahead and check a couple of the airports along our route here. So the next one that's interesting for us, I think, it's going to be right up here. We'll definitely leave out Iraq, and then Turkey is the next one. So Oscar, what is this? Triple Kilo. Okay, send you out, and thereafter the next interesting one is going to be in Turkey already. And for that, let's go a little bit towards the coastline down here. I think it's Adana, the name of the airport. Yeah, Lima Tango Alpha Foxtrot. And then we can collect Istanbul as well, since that will be relevant later in the flight. So that's our first couple of airports selected up here. We'll continue the climb to flight level 340 initially. Set standard. Standard, cross-check, passing flight level 142 now. Check. Okay, so we'll start in Kuwait. Kavok 43 degrees. Beautiful. Then Adana. Beautiful. Istanbul. Likewise beautiful. Alright, so it's gonna be good weather all over. Well, and that's about all we need for now. So, Dubai, Kuwait, and Adana. Going into here, I'll leave the last one free so that we get the nearest airport shown at all times. And with that, we now have more or less nothing more to do. See, the recommended level is coming up already as well. I'm fairly sure once we're up in 340, it is going to come up to 340 as well, so let's just go there straight away. Alright, so that's all we had to do for now. So I am going to accelerate this a little bit, and provided that nothing significant happens, I'd say see you on the arrival in Frankfurt. Emirates 5 to Mike via W1 Charlie arrival, descent flight level 110. So you heard it. We're on the course towards Frankfurt now via the W1 Charlie arrival. Let's go ahead and have a quick look about the setup that I just did, and then I'll give you a small briefing for our arrival. So our arrival is the W1 Charlie arrival coming in from the south east, Debbie level 240, and then via a couple of restrictions which are all checked earlier already, we are going to proceed into the downwind, from where we'll eventually receive radar vectors onto the ILS approach by runway 07 right. Now, the approach itself starts at Delta Foxtrot 660 in 4000 with a 3-degree glide slope, and we proceed down to a minimum of 527 feet, which we have already set, and then in case of a missed approach, it's going to be via a couple of Delta Foxtrot points to the right and climbing to an altitude of 5,000 feet towards Frankenstein VOR. By the way, I really love the creativity of those guys setting up the VOR names over here. So, that's our general plan. Flaps 30 landing and vacate hopefully towards the end via Mike 9er, but we'll see about that. So, in terms of the FMS setup, we've got a couple of speeds in here, 291, 240 below 100. The forecast page is also filled out. Fixed rings around Frankfurt, 25 miles for MSA awareness. The MSA itself is 4,300, as you can see up here. Now, 9.8 is the expected landing fuel. We'll probably land with a little bit more than that. So, when I'm comparing what we have, currently 12 tons, 9.8 on the landing, so that's roughly 2 point a bit. So if we just subtract 1.8 here, landing weight 231, then we end up with a pretty nice approach speed. Flaps 30, 143 knots, and that is exactly what I've entered. Alright, we are planning to vacate the runway towards the end. so come off probably to the left here, Mike 9er, and then via Mike 8, or maybe even Mike and Tango towards the Delta or Echo gates up here. So on the parking stand east chart, anything that is located up here. Small threat for the arrival there. For Mike 8, they will make us hold short of the Cat 2 holding point, not the Cat 1. The background for that is that they had an accident down here on Mike 8 in the real world, where an aircraft was still planned to go up to the holding line, to the standard Cat 1 holding point, and then another one entered the taxiway over here, and the wing of the aft aircraft clipped the vertical stabilizer of the front one, leading to a little bit of very nasty damage. So for that reason nowadays we hold short at the Cat 2 holding point. Oh, there it's very clear for anyone behind that you can't pass behind, and that solves the problem. Apart from that, we also have a couple of holding points located over here on the extended center line of the runway, and those are namely Tango 4 and Uniform 4, and we must not cross these points without a clearance from air traffic control. So that's rather important for us over here that we don't accidentally just cross them. They are well marked on the ground though, so if they say Mike Tango, hold short Tango 4, that's over here. Okay, and that basically completes the arrival briefing. So do you have any questions about that? No. Wonderful. Right, then let's put our EFB away again. And with that, we are all set up for the arrival. So a new Asus has just arrived. I'm really not sure why it's collecting the departure Asus instead of the arrival Asus, but the weather conditions are the same, so we don't have to worry about that. So what do we have there? Wind 340 at 12, gust up 22, so that's pretty much a direct crosswind at 22 knots. 125 decimal 355, Emirates 5 to Mike, ciao. And this is Atus Information Hotel. Long radar, good afternoon. Emirates 5 to Mike Heavy, flight level 170, descending on the Debbie 1 Charlie, arrival information hotel.
Emirates 5 to Mike, Adelaide 8 to 5. Du gefragt, bevor ich irgendwie nach Minneapolis im Outbound gewesen, die sind so nach Dubai gekommen.
Ja, das habe ich genau so lange gemacht, bis die 787 sich für einen Crash to Desktop entschieden hat. Jetzt komme ich aus Dubai.
Also, verstehe. Na gut, dann kommst du weg. Frankfurt ist noch Bruder, muss ich zugeben. Information Hotel 079.
Auf jeden Fall, stimme ich dir voll und ganz zu. Information Hotel 07 right, Emirates 5 to Mike. So the controller just asked me. I tried to record a video with the 787 earlier today and took off from Frankfurt bound for Minneapolis, but for some reason I tried that flight 3 times and the 787 just kept crashing to desktop. For that reason I went back to the 777, so that's what this was about. Okay, in any case, back to our Atus over here. So wind is directly cross at 22 knots and 10 kilometers, clouds broken 4,700, 16 degrees, 1028. And that's it. Right, so easy weather conditions, a little bit of crosswind. Now, since we don't fly that kind of stuff too often in long-haul aircraft like the 777, we can just go over the crosswind technique here again. In the real world that would not be necessary. In the real world we would know about that stuff. For flight simmers, however, since you really don't encounter that kind of stuff too often, let's just quickly go over it again. So the Boeing 777 can be flown down in 2 different ways. The first of them... Speed 280, Emirates 5 to Mike. 280. Execute. The good thing about descending on constant, on a constant angle path here, or geometric descent, is that reducing that speed really only takes getting the engines to idle, maybe a little bit of speed brake to reduce the speed. Stay in idle, my friends. And once the speed is down at the target, you just let go, and now it maintains the speed very nicely again. No problems with the path jumping off and stuff like that. Makes it really easy. Okay, so to go over our crosswind landing techniques again. There's two possible ways for us to do this. It's the decrab during flare or the touchdown in crab. Now, we want to do the decrab during flare today, and that means the objective is to maintain weakness level throughout the approach, flare and touchdown. On the final approach, a crab angle is established with the wings level to maintain the desired track, and just prior to touchdown, while flaring the airplane, downwind rudder is applied to eliminate the trap and align the airplane with the runway center line. As the rudder is applied, the upwind wing sweeps forward, which is going to develop a roll moment, since the upwind wing, that's going to be the right-hand wing for us today, is a little bit faster than the downwind wing, due to the yawing moment. Hold the wings level with simultaneous application of aileron control into the wind, and the touchdown is made with cross controls as both gears touch down simultaneously. Throughout the touchdown phase, upwind aileron application is utilized to keep the wings level. And that is our preferred method of doing this today. There is a second method though, and that is the touchdown in crab. The airplane can land using crab only, so zero side slip up to the landing crosswind guideline speeds. There's a small problem with that, however, and that's since you touch down, let's say the runway is over here, so you fly into that direction and touch down like that, that puts quite a force onto the wheels, and you don't necessarily want that. For this reason, this technique is normally not used on dry runways, but you would normally use this technique on wet runways only. Now, on dry runways, upon touchdown, the airplane tracks towards the upwind edge of the runway while decrabbing to align with the runway. Immediate upwind aileron is needed to ensure the wings remain level, while rudder is needed to track the runway center line. The greater the amount of crab at touchdown, the larger the lateral deviation from the point of touchdown. For this reason, touchdown in a crab-only condition is not recommended when landing on a dry runway in strong crosswinds. On very slippery runways, landing the airplane using crab only reduces the drift towards the downwind side at touchdown, permitting rapid operation of spoilers and auto brakes because all main gears touch down simultaneously, and that may reduce the pilot workload since the airplane does not have to be decrabbed before touchdown. However, proper rudder and upwind aileron must be applied after touchdown to ensure directional control is maintained. Now, there is one more technique, and that's the side slip technique, where the airplane is basically flown down in a side slip all the way to touchdown. But that has the problem that the outboard edge of the flaps or the engine nacelle can touch the runway.
Emirates 5 to Mike, descent flight level 70.
Emirates 5 to Mike, descent flight level 70. Okay, 7000, checked. Emirates 5 to Mike, you want us to reduce 250 at level 100 or maintain 280?
Negative. You are number 2 and number 1 is about to turn final, so you can keep the speed. I will call you for slowdown. Probably when you cross runway 18 then you can expect slower, but for now, your controller is flat.
Roger, maintaining 280, Emirates 5 to Mike. Okay, level change, 280. I'll tell you what, let's do vertical speed here. Something like that.
Level 125 descending.
Okay, so that's the different techniques we have available for our approach with the crosswind. We are going to use the auto throttle, and the auto throttle has a pretty nice feature in the Boeing 777, as well as in other Boeings. Now, that feature is that it adds thrust a little bit quicker than it reduces thrust. The result is a tendency of the aircraft to fly a little bit faster than commanded in gusty conditions. That is the theory. In practical terms, however, at least on the 737, I don't know about the 777, but at least on the 737, the airplane would normally not handle those speeds too well, and we would often override the throttles, but without disengaging the auto throttle in these situations. So an airline like Emirates wants their pilots to have the auto throttle on at all times on the 777. It is not allowed to use manual thrust. However, it's a Boeing, so you can at any time grab the thrust levers
250 knots.
Emirates 5 to Mike, reducing 250 knots. Level change, 250.
Lufthansa 110, expedite turn.
Okay, so the pilot would put their hand on the thrust levers and just override whatever the auto throttle is doing. Like right now, you can see how the auto throttle just roughly maintains that setting here. We can at any point override it, like I'm doing just now. Once you let go, you can see auto throttle changes the thrust setting once again, but you get the general idea.
5,000 feet, QNH 1028.
Down 5,000, 1028, Super 9,100.
Okay, looks like there's traffic ahead, about 5 nautical miles. That's probably the reason why he wanted us to reduce the airspeed. 2,700 below, so he's at 6,000. We cleared to 7-0, not a problem. Cabin ready is already copied. Very good. And come on, airplane, you go idle now. Give me those 1,000 feet a minute, please. Vertical speed. Okay, that plane starts climbing. Not exactly sure where he is going, but we're 5 miles apart, so it shouldn't be much of a problem. This gentleman is more or less constant at 5 miles, so I'm fairly positive this is not going to be a problem. 3 miles is the minimum in this airspace. Okay, Frankfurt arrival information, India. The wind has changed. Emirates 5 to Mike. You were blocked out. Please confirm speed 220, descend 4,000, and say again QNH.
Emirates 5 to Mike, all correct, QNH 1028.
Okay, 220 knots, 4,000 feet, QNH 1028. Emirates 2 to Mike. 5 to Mike. Okay, set QNH. QNH 1028 cross check, passing 7,860. Now.
Direct Delta Foxtrot 441, V250 knots.
Okay, we'll make that 224, then we don't need to extend the flaps here. Alright, so the new ATIS is copied. No changes. Cancel.
118.05 today.
Emirates 5 to Mike, contact director 118.505.
118.505, Emirates 5 to Mike. Vielen Dank, tschüss.
Lange Radar, Leipzig and Anna Papa Zulu, descending flight level 100, we have hotel.
Direct hello, Emirates 5 to Mike Heavy.
Emirates 5 to Mike, direct hello.
Okay, approach checklist. Altimeters, QNH 1028. Approach check is complete.
Heading to 0. Defender 110, direct hello.
You could feel how he wanted to say call sign only, but we'll leave it at that, shall we? So he seems to be on a heading of 260 in front of us.
Turn right, heading 340.
And just about turning base, excellent. Then it's going to be, I'll turn behind him.
Emirates 5 to Mike,
Speed
speed 200.
200, Emirates 5 to Mike. Flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps 1. So, temperature +6. We are more or less flying inside and out of the clouds. The anti-ice is an automatic, so we don't need to apply any manual anti-icing over here. And you might be surprised that it doesn't come on automatically, but the way this works in the 777 is that the airplane has two probes at the front of the aircraft, and only when those probes measure that icing actually builds up on the airplane, only then it is going to initiate the de-icing cycle. Now, the way this anti-icing system works is basically those probes in the front have a current through them, and if they ice up, then that ice acts as a resistance, and therefore the current changes. When the airplane measures that this happens, it applies anti-icing to the probe until the ice melts, then turns the anti-icing off again, and if it ices up again and reaches a certain number of cycles, then it turns on the engine anti-ice, and if the number of cycles increase further, then it also turns...
Turn right heading 340.
Turn right heading 340, Emirates 5 to Mike. And if the amount of cycles reaches a certain even higher level, then the wing anti-ice comes on as well. And that's how the automatic anti-icing works in the Boeing 777.
Director, hello, loud, ticket 215.
1000 to go.
Left ticket 215, director.
Extend the center line, please.
Right 5 to Mike, turn right heading 040. Clear to left, runway 07 right.
Turn right heading 040, clear to LS 07 right, Emirates 5 to Mike.
Yeah, low speeder 904,
Hey.
November, you're at 5,000.
Heading 040,
Speeder 904 November, director, hello.
center line is extended.
160, speeder 904.
Let's have a quick look onto the weather radar, see if there's anything around, but I don't think there is.
Looking at 110, keep speed 160, not the great anti-ice.
Alt.
Keep speed 160.
Okay, nothing on the weather radar, then I'll go over to terrain. I mean, I didn't expect anything. If you look outside, you can see it's perfectly fine weather conditions. But just to be on the safe side here. The reason I want to be on terrain is because of the Taunus mountains up here. Unable to provide ADAS at this time, but that's fine. Okay, so receiving the ILS. ILS Frankfurt Southeast is received. Approach armed. So, very nice sequencing over here. Every 5 miles you've got an aircraft. And for the mediums... Speed 160, Emirates 5 to Mike. That's 5. Speed checked. And flaps 15. Speed checked. Slowly slowing down as the flaps come out, making sure that we don't go into the minimum maneuvering speed there. Localize our live.
180, Beaver 904 November.
Okay, tower should be 11878 unless they have even the 4th tower online. Anyway, let's just pre-select that, and then we'll see what we're gonna get. Localizer capture. Runway heading 066 set.
160 until 5 for Super 904 November.
So that aircraft behind is pretty close. We're a heavy, so he needs 5 miles behind us. So that guy must not get closer than 5 miles until touchdown. 160 until 5, 118.78, Emirates 5 to Mike, bye. Alpha Tower, Emirates 5 to Mike, heavy, ILS 07 right.
Emirates 5 to Mike, Tower, hello. F8 557, line up 7 center. Line up 7 center, effective vision. Systems of 110.
Glide slope capture. Go around altitude 5000 set. Okay, speed until 5 miles is not a problem in the 777. In the A330, 160 until 5 is okay. 170 until 5 gets itchy already. The A330 is really hard to slow down. Luckily we're in the 777 here, so not many problems.
That's right, 557 and 340 degrees, 1 to knots, gusting 2 to altitude, that's just for your Cindy Delta. So only line up 7 center, I call it back.
Roger, only line up.
Okay, manual flight. Let's have a little bit of fun.
Tower, hello, Lufthansa 10 Heavy, on final runway 7 right. Panzer 110 Tower, hello, wind 340 degrees, 12 knots, gusting 22 knots, 7 right, clear to land. Clear to land, 7 right, Lufthansa 10 Heavy.
I just really like those flight dynamics of the 777. It's easy to slow down if you need to, but it's a very stable platform if you just don't do any input. When it's trimmed out, you can see it. I'm just not doing any inputs over here. It just keeps going where you need it to go.
Disregard Emirates 5 to Mike, continue approach and reduce the final speed.
Emirates 5 to Mike, reducing final. Gear down. Flaps 20.
Again, contact. Speedbird 19 and 13 heavy. F-rate 557, wind 340 degrees.
Okay, we gotta wait until the gear is down before we are going to extend the flaps into the landing setting. Here we go, flaps 30.
Speedbird 1913 behind the Airbus 300, line up 7 center behind. Behind Airbus A300, line up 07 center behind 1913 heavy.
Lots of heavies today, I like that. Landing checklist? Landing checklist complete.
System 1 request frequency changed.
System 155, sorry, departure 120-155, ciao.
120-155, ciao.
Emirates 5 to Mike, wind 340 degrees, 12 knots, gusting 22 knots, 7 right, clear to land.
07 right, clear to land, Emirates 5 to Mike. Okay, thanks, we didn't need that, ATIS. Okay then. Clear to land. The gear is down, the flaps are down. That's always my personal two things that I look at before the actual landing, because, you know, you want to make sure that you have these two things. Anything else, you can forget to arm the spoilers, then you extend them manually. But if you forget to extend the landing gear, you're not going to correct for that once you touch down.
Tower, hello, Leipzig 215, ILS 07 right.
Just wondering, where's the aircraft behind us? Yeah, entering the 5 miles right now. Okay, 1000 is checked.
Lufthansa 10 Heavy, reconnect Raketen on Mike. So the 110 taxi Mike and Mike 8 hold short 7 center. Mike 8 hold short 7 center, Lufthansa Heavy. Speedbird 1913, wind 340 degrees, 12 knots, gusting 22 knots, 7 center, clear takeoff.
Okay, the gusts start to come in.
Speedbird 1913 heavy.
But of course, a 777 is a lot less susceptible to them than an A320, for example.
Actually, 123 contact tower 124855, ciao.
125, ciao.
Plus 100.
Checked.
Minimums.
Continue.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Okay, decrab. Aileron into the wind. Touchdown. Beautiful. Okay, speed break up, thrust wheels normal.
61 go on Lima.
Okay, 61 go, Savalo. Ryanair 1356 on frequency. Go ahead for Ryanair 1356. Line up runway 07 center.
Okay, manual brakes.
Line up 0.
That's the good thing about flying a heavy aircraft.
Line up 0.
You do have sufficient space behind you with those 5 miles separation they need.
1913, contact departure.
So that you can easily just take, you know, roll down the runway a bit further for another exit.
Thank you, bye-bye. Ryanair 1356, wind 340.
Alright, Mike 9 it is.
2 knots, gusting 22 knots, 7 center, clear takeoff. Clear for takeoff, 07 center, Ryanair 1356. Emirates 5 to Mike, taxi Mike, Tango, hold short, Tango 4.
Taxi Mike, Tango, hold short, Tango 4, Emirates 5 to Mike.
Qatari 61 Golf, line up 7 center via Lima 20.
Via Lima 20.
Alright, easy going.
Center, Qatari 61 Golf.
Lufthansa 110, hold short Mike, 8. Yes, we have departing traffic. 8,
Okay, so that A380 over there is exactly what I've talked about earlier with those holding points. If we try to go behind him, that is gonna become expensive.
215, 07 right cleared to land and long roll are run route approved and sailing in the intersection please.
Mike 9er.
Mike 9er Leipzig is 15.
So we might just about have to hold it over here. I have a feeling they're not gonna fit behind. Let's have a look at that from the outside. Yeah, you can see it here. With the wing reaching that far over the edge, it would ram into the stabilizer of the A380. By the way, I said a couple times on past flights that ATC needs to give taxi instructions when vacating the runway. That's exactly what this controller has just done. Cross 7 center, turn left on Lima. Perfect. That's how it needs to be. That way you get the aircraft completely clear of the taxiway, of the runway, and the runway is immediately available again. Very good ATC in Frankfurt. That's how you do it. Alright, we're definitely clear of him now.
Lufthansa 110 in Lima, hold short before Lima 6, contact apron 121-955, ciao.
Okay then. Shutdown right.
Hold short Lima before Lima 6, taking frequency apron 121-955. Hold short Lima 6, 121-955 apron, Lufthansa is
And
ready.
clear the ICAS. Okay, via Tango, hold short Tango 4. That's gonna be in the next to the left, as briefed.
Tower, hello again, Lufthansa 5 from Yankee, established ILS 70 right.
First Qatari 61 Golf, wind 340 degrees, 12 knots, gusting 22 knots, 7 center, clear takeoff.
07 center, clear for takeoff, Qatari 61 Golf.
Lufthansa 5 uniform Yankee, tower, hello, wind 340 degrees, 12 knots.
So the next frequency is gonna be 121-955.
Clear to land from a 07 right, Lufthansa 5, Yankee.
Okay, so left over here, and then hold short Tango 4. These are the holding points that I briefed earlier, and this is where we gotta hold. Never cross those without a clearance. So the Qatari that's just got takeoff clearance on 7 center probably needs to pass above us before we get clearance to cross. You can see you actually have a standard Cat 1 holding point drawn onto here, even though there is no runway immediately behind. But the background is the runway 25 center. There we can see the Qatar coming. So the background is the 25 center here. In case the aircraft needs to reject and overshoots, then you will be safe if you're waiting here. If you're right behind those antennas here, the other aircraft crashes into you. Unhealthy. Emirates 5 to Mike at Tango 4.
Emirates 5 to Mike, cross Tango 4, apron 121.955, Joe.
Cross Tango 4, 121.955, Emirates 5 to Mike, Joe.
KLM 52.
Frankfurt apron, good afternoon, Emirates 5 to Mike, crossing Tango 4.
Emirates 5 to Mike, guten Nachmittag, Taxi, Echo 9er via November East, ciao.
Echo 9er via November East, Emirates 5 to Mike, ciao. Okay, that's straight ahead. You can see it over there. Echo 9 is the last of those gates.
Correction 121 ist mal selbstvergleich. Ciao.
Start APU. And GSX, Terminal 2, Echo Gates, Echo 9R. No follow me needed, handling by Fraport. Okay, we gotta take the center line with the 777. We definitely have more wingspan than 36 meters. November East, that's how he cleared us. Make sure we don't run over any vehicles over here. The 777 is small, you can easily miss it, huh? Okay, Echo 9R right over here. So speed down 10 knots, lights off. So they disarmed the slides already, perfect.
First station, apron back in 1 minute.
Okay, so Echo 9 is on here, 777 Whiskey is on here as well. Perfect. A little bit of power, I suppose. I guess we have to taxi to the front line, to the one over here. Yep, fairly far forward, as expected. And here we go. Okay, APU running. Cabin crew, all doors in park.
Apron getting Air Golf from Victor 95.
Alright, let's leave that frequency. And then the engine is running down. Waiting for 20% N2 to turn off the beacon light. Here we go. Okay, shutdown checklist. Park and brake. Set. Shutdown checklist complete. Well then, requests deboarding please. Something they do like to do on the real 777 is to turn on the ground movement camera while you're at the gate, because it means that you can see all the services going on around your aircraft. Alright, so here in Frankfurt, chocks definitely into place, ground power as well with the dual plugs. No air conditioning unit, but 16 degrees outside. Yeah, we are gonna keep that APU running until the deboarding is completed. We're not Ryanair after all, we're Emirates here. Okay. Wonderful. So here we are, welcome to Frankfurt everyone. I hope that you enjoyed the 777 once again. I surely did. Don't ask me what those flying passengers are in the up there. I really don't want to know. GSX for the win. So thank you very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this one. Leave your feedback in the comments below. And with all of that out of the way, thank you very much for watching. Be sure to like, comment and subscribe. And if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you for watching, and I see you all again on the next one.